Popping shit. You would think I went to school for chiropractic. Looking good as hell today. Just sent my nigga 5 attachments. Hi everyone. What's up? Hello to whoever is watching. I appreciate you and welcome to this. For you guys who don't know me, which I'm assuming is most of y'all, my name is Jasmine. Um, I am an artist, but I also am just a girl who likes to talk about my experiences and share them and make sense of them and just kind of bring them around full circle into something that could be useful for other people to also hear, and it's just useful for myself. So uh yeah, I I just started this. I literally just started um I literally just started talking to a camera and actually sharing my thoughts on the internet streets. And this is, although it is new to me, it still feels very normal in a way, I guess, cuz like I used to have so much freaking social anxiety, so I would have never thought that I was like, I don't know, gonna sit up here and make videos and like put them on the internet, but we're here now. And I think that the ability for me to do that came from a certain transformation within myself that allowed me to no longer identify with like being shy or vulnerable or intimate or, being perceived in a certain way and just being like whatever. And I also just um I stay fulfilled through sharing parts of myself that allow me to stay creative. So yeah, I like to do that, and I feel like that's just where I'm at right now. So anyways, I decided to call myself Jasmine Tea because I really do like tea a lot. I think that it is a beverage that really makes you feel good. I specifically like green tea, and I love jasmine tea, not because my name is Jasmine, but because I genuinely love the floral taste to it. And honestly, if I'm being honest, um, jasmine rice is good as fuck too. Um, Jasmine flowers smell really good, and yeah, I hate to just boast about all the wonderful variations of jasmine in nature, but we just got it like that. We smell good, we taste good, we do good, we're good for y'all. So, this video is inspired by Jasmine from age 18 to like 23. This video is literally about the things that I have noticed. And it took me until now to be like, you know what? These niggas do not care about me. Well, I knew that. I knew that back then too. But as an adult, as an older 27-year-old, I'm like, bruh, like, why was I out here getting high like this? Why were we out here? Why was this okay? This was not okay. All right. Now, although I'm joking, I'm gonna be serious about like a lot of these points. I have a whole freaking note um PDF thing right here on my phone to keep me on track as I talk about what I'm about to talk about. But yeah, I just want to say that first of all, the inspiration for this video was, I mean, it comes from whenever I was younger and just more um had less boundaries and just open to more experiences though, like curious enough. And also before I really knew who I was or like my purpose. Um so yeah, if none of this applies then to you, or you just feel like, oh, I can't relate to that, like even though that I was doing smoking and shit like that, like, oh, I can't relate to that, like that's fine. This is for that part of me. This is the adult me, the future me now that's like, wait a minute. Yeah, this is what's actually going on, I feel like, unfortunately. And then another thing is there is a difference between occasionally enjoying smoking and drinking versus doing it as a way to bond with people. So I'm not going to condemn or shame or look down on anyone who is actively like, smoking and drinking. Mostly this video is about smoking because I was never a drinker. Um, Never have been, never will, really will. I enjoy a sip or two of some wine or some whiskey. I do not give a fuck about no damn alcohol for real. Like I do not. But it's I enjoy the effects of it, but I have never been that. Um, this is more so about smoking because that was something that I was doing a lot of between the age range that I just mentioned. Um, and then another thing is that it's crazy to like really be here. And some people have like so much trauma. Some people have so much shit that they might never actually be able to sit through and conquer or get over or heal from. So I understand why people are a slave or abuse or just are coping with substances like weed and alcohol or whatever other stuff out there. Like I get it because you really never know like the gravity of what people are dealing with. You just really never know. So that's why I kind of just mind my business when people do what they do. As long as it doesn't affect me, then I'm cool. Um, and I think that that's what you should do. But of course, like if you need to be around somebody and you're around someone and you see that like they abuse it, then that is something that you should pay attention to. Like just pay attention to people's relationship with um the substances that they like to use. Like just for your safety and for your protection if you find yourself being in an intimate relationship with them slash friendship dynamic or whatever. um oh yeah, and then another thing along with what I just said, you can use smoking or other substances for like introspection or medicinal purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's common and that's normal. I feel like, so do what you do. And as far as like, enjoying it with people that you love and the recreational aspect of it, have fun, enjoy your life. But I'm about to make it really fucking real. I'm about to, just say some stuff that I feel like is also true. But I just wanted to clarify on like where I stand with it. Um, because the truth is like no matter what I just said, like trust me, you're gonna want to be sober. Sober is the way. Okay, forget having this feeling that you like to have all the time. Sober is really the way. Okay, but anyway, all right. So people, people who always wanted me under the influence, wanted me in a state of unawareness, weakness, and stagnancy. They were either predatory, or they wanted me to be in their company in their misery, or both. So they were either like kind of predatory in a way, or they just wanted me like around them because they were also in like their own misery, or both, you know? The reason why I feel like this is for a lot of different reasons, which I am about to explain. Okay. So, number one is when you are constantly under the influence, constantly, the microphone just low key like touched my lip. I was not ready for that. Um, when you are constantly smoking, drinking, you are outside of yourself. You're outside of yourself. It is used as a distraction at times and an escaping mechanism to not have to feel things like pain or trauma or any kind of uncomfortability. You don't want to feel uncomfortable. You don't want to feel pain. You don't want to feel your trauma. You want to be out. You just don't want to feel anything. You don't want to feel your body because in your body, that is where like your pain resides, right? You don't want to feel the feelings. You don't want to feel the emotional pain. You don't want to feel any of that shit. So that's that's okay, but I guess first I can get into like how I started smoking. So I started smoking weed when I was like 18. Not even when I was like 18. I was 18, and it was through my second boyfriend. I had just got out of high school, and I met my second boyfriend at my second job ever. And one day I think this is before we actually started like being official, but I think one day we got off work, and then I just hit the blunt, and it was my first time ever. And from there on out, I just kept smoking. It was actually pretty funny cuz I got munchies and shit, and I just wasn't used to it. Like I didn't grow up like prematurely like smoking or drinking, so my body was not like accustomed to feeling the way that I felt. And slowly and surely, I just now always wanted to feel like that again. Like I was like, I want to feel like this often. So I just started smoking more. Your body gets used to it, and the mind gets used to it, the stimulation and whatever, the ease and like the painlessness, the carefreeness. Like you just feel so good when you're high. You do. And then when you coming down, I like how that feels too. Things sound better, things taste better, things feel better. All that. It just everything feels great. You're just in the state of what's the word? The state of um ecstasy or whatever. So, yeah, my ex, he was a stoner. I didn't realize how bad it was though. I didn't realize how bad it actually was. Like he smoked a lot, okay? Um he smoked a lot, and through him smoking a lot, I ended up smoking a lot as well. But we often smoked together. So, we began bonding this way as well. It was like we're always high. He was high a lot, but I didn't see the issue until I noticed that he was lazy a lot, and he never really had an urgency to do certain things. And he lived with his mom at the time. And mind you, I'm 18. He's like probably 21. So, you know, like I'm just minding my business. I'm just a girl. Like I'm over here. Your mom knows me now, whatever. She like me. We chilling. She know that he be getting high too. She don't like it, but she know. But it was still, it seemed like he was cool. Like he went to school, went to work. That's how I met him, through work. He was all right. Pretty decent young man. But I feel like, I don't know, man. Like through I don't know, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, men will like lose their motivation in life once they start getting some pussy. Anybody ever notice that? It's like it's like, damn. Like once we start, it's like shit, you ain't got no fucking aspirations. What happened to the aspirations, my nigga? Anyway, yeah. So I think that on top of like him being high often just kind of like, I don't know, man. Things went from point A to point Z real fast. That's all I'm gonna say. But either way, um, getting back on track, we were young. So it wasn't a good thing to be high all the time, but we were young, and um, as now that I can see things for what they were, I realized that he was also using weed to cope with his reality, and he didn't want to accept, like, I guess, certain things, and that was his way of just kind of like, I hate to call him delusional, but I think that he was kind of delusional in a way, like even in his sober mind. But I think that by him constantly smoking and escaping reality, it just made him even more delusional as well, in a way. Um, so there wasn't really a good structure for this young man, I don't think, um, whenever he was high or whenever he was sober. But I think that by him staying high, it just kept him in like this, like, oh, I don't have to care about certain things. A lot of this stuff doesn't matter. Just no motivation, no kind of like, well, I'm not going to say he didn't have ambitions. Okay. I'm not going to say that he didn't have any goals. I think that he had the ones that we would consider unimportant in society. You know what I mean? Because he was also an artist as well. And I just so happen to date artists. I don't try to do it, it just ends up happening. I meet people, we like each other, we realize, oh, you're an artist too. Like it just happens. We're creatives. Like creatives attract creatives. So I'm not going to say that he didn't have like the mindset or the vision for that, and I'm not going to say that he didn't work towards that. But still, like the method in which he did it was like, it was very tacky. And this is, I feel like I'm just getting onto a whole nother diversion fucking thing about him. The point is that weed kept this person from really being practical and thinking, and he was outside of himself a lot. But sometimes I wonder, was that even the weed? I don't know. But this is about me. This is not about him. From me being in a relationship with someone that was a stoner, someone that, I'm gonna say it, I think that he abused it. It also made me like, and for me being high, I think that it kept me like susceptible to the nonsense in the relationship, because once you're in a relationship with someone and you're attached to them in a way through like physical affection, and just that emotional kind of attachment as well, it's hard to leave. So I think that also, like, constantly being putting myself in this altered state just kept me there longer than what I should have been. And then also it kept me unaware to like his either manipulation or just it kept me from really seeing the truth and ignoring like the parts of him that were shitty, the parts of him that clearly showed his character or clearly showed like his deficiencies and shit that I feel like were very, very important for me to notice at the time. So it kind of like kept me a little bit more unaware and incoherent of what was happening in front of me, is all I'm saying. And it made me a little bit more suggestible to things that I wouldn't have been if I were sober. But I also was young and dumb, but still, I think that if I would have still been in my right mind, there would have been a lot of different things that would have taken place differently, is all I'm saying. So by me being outside of myself and in this altered state while in a relationship, it just kept me, from really seeing the truth, from really being able to like see things for what they are with this person. Um and then just naturally I think that it kept me from having to deal with my own stuff. I always found myself wanting to get high too before I did things. Like I would go to work high every now and then, or I'd want to smoke in the morning or smoke before I go to sleep or do whatever, So it also kept me from just appreciating my life as it was. And it kept me just wanting to always chase this high or whatever. This elated feeling, it keeps you from actually appreciating the present moment. It is a way to let your guard down for predators. Weed and being high all the time or just under the influence in general with any substance is a way for you to let your guard down for predators. So people, I mean, we should know this. We're adults now. But people use substances all the time so you can be more open to their suggestions, their manipulation, and seduction. They want you under their influence. They want you under the influence so you can be under their influence. You are more susceptible to things that you wouldn't be when you are sober. Let me read that again. You are more susceptible to things that you wouldn't be when you are under the influence versus when you are sober. You feel more open to being sexual or also saying yes to things that you would have said no to if you were sober. And obviously, this is, it's more true for people who have an issue saying no. I had this coworker. First of all, one thing I did notice back then was women, also men, but there would be this thing to where like I don't know. I think when you first of all, when you do something, you attract people that also do it too. So it made sense why people were coming to me in this way or whatever without me having to even say it. Like if you freaking are into maybe a certain thing, then naturally, like I guess what you would call the law of attraction and stuff, you're gonna just start attracting people that are also into that, or you'll find yourself in these environments or whatever. People that resonate in the same way that you do. So it makes sense why people were kind of like offering to smoke with me and stuff. So I get that. But one thing I did notice is there would be times when I feel like looking back on it now, it felt odd. I feel like it was odd, but back then I was just like, whatever. But people were always, we should smoke. We should smoke. We should smoke. You want to smoke? We should smoke. And me, as a smoker, of course I wanted to smoke. But I think I also knew that, like, in the moment of, like, when we're getting high, like, it's a certain kind of like everything is an energy exchange in general, but like getting high with someone is like very different than just like hanging out sober. Like literally hanging out and getting high with someone is like, for me personally, that shit is not that's it's more going on in that hangout personally. Like I feel a little, I can't explain it right now, but I feel like something else is actually going on, right? So yeah, there have been different occasions where like I'd um at a job or whatever. um I remember this one chick, like at one of my jobs. I used to work at a warehouse. I remember I used to work at this warehouse, and this girl, like, she used to, I'm talking about, like, honestly, with women, you, when women are trying to like talk to you or like flirt with you as a woman, you don't really, if you don't really be actively, like, if you're not a lesbian or you don't actively like talk to girls like that, like you're just thinking like they're just being themselves. Like you're not really, at least for me, I'm not really picking up on like hints and shit. But I think that it took me a minute to realize, like, oh, like she's trying to like talk to me like in that way because she's attracted to me. And I don't like when people do passive shit. But you know, women be like flirting like really passively and stuff. And I know because I do it too. But I guess when it's actually happening to you, you're just like, okay. Um, but you know, you want people to say it with their chest. So I'm talking about like the first um the first training week, she kept, I don't know, this girl suggested smoking. I'm pretty sure. Like she had other ways of like, I don't know, giving me hints or whatever by, you know, mentioning like, oh yeah, I can't wait to smoke when I get off, whatever, whatever. You know? And that's normal. But I remember like there'll be other times where she'll just be like, if you ever want to smoke, you know, or you want to smoke, what are you doing? You want to smoke after work, whatever? And I'm just like, no, I'm good. Cause at this point, I had already kind of matured from like wanting to smoke a lot. And I had already realized like I can't handle it the same way other people handle it. I am sensitive to certain shit. So whenever I smoke with people, I be feeling like I could like, I just be picking up on like how they be feeling and stuff and like whatever the fuck they be dealing with. So yeah, I just stopped doing. I personally just don't like to smoke with other people. So I had realized that at that time. Um, but I really do feel like it was like, okay, you know that by me being high around you, I'm gonna be more comfortable around you, or I'm gonna be more my guard is gonna be let down. So there's not gonna be like, if whatever it is that you're trying to do with me, not saying that you would like full on like cross my boundaries or whatever, but whatever it is that you're trying to do, like on an energetic level or even a physical level, like you know that I'll be more like susceptible to it. Okay, so just because you're a woman, it doesn't, like, it's like you're still a stranger to me. Like technically you're a coworker, so you're still a stranger. We just so happen to work together. But for someone, like, if you were like, really think about this, like if that was a guy, wouldn't you have been like, why is this dude always, you know, like that's not normal. Like even if women are, you know, women, you want to trust women because they're women, but like they're also predatory, just as predatory. They you just have to see and understand what they're trying to do. So yeah, I feel like by her always trying to, hey, do you want to smoke? Do you want to? It was always just a way and a tactic for me to be in her presence, for her to like grow on me and whatever. And then there have been other times when I don't know, like girls be gay, yo. So I'm talking about like feminine women being like, "Hey, girl, yeah, we should smoke. We should smoke." And it's like sometimes it really is just them trying to like bond like that, and they know that like I also smoke too, and they smoke, and it's just a chill thing to do. Like, don't get me wrong, but I remember this one girl. Like she would always like this is a whole nother job. But I think that she was also low key gay. But like sometimes you be having to like usually if you get the if you get the instinct that a chick is like gay, then she probably is. But it's usually based off of like maybe how she looks at you, how she interacts with you, etc. It's not always just like, oh, you look like a straight up gay lesbian or whatever. So yeah, like I remember I ended up having to like kind of do something in another department, and she would always kind of be there, and she would like come through, say hello to me, whatever. She worked in another department, but she would like find herself like walking into the area that I was working in or whatever. So she'd always say what's up to me because she was cool, and I worked with her grandmother, and we all worked at this big ass store. So she would always be like, Jazz, like we gotta smoke together. We should smoke together, whatever. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, we should, yeah. You know, I always tell her like, yeah, we should, but it never happened. And she gave me her number, right? But I never reached out to her because I was just like, it just didn't feel natural to just do it. But what's really going on here is that she is probably gay. Not even probably. Like she like you're gay, bro. Like you're gay. Like the other chick at the warehouse, she was obviously gay. Like you could tell, like based off how she looked, like dyke. But this chick, it was hard to put my finger on it back then because I wasn't looking at women. But she was definitely gay. She like now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, yo, you were gay, and like it's not cool. It's not cool because you're a woman. It's not cool. Like you're still not gonna get a pass because that's still predatory. That's the equivalent to a man um being like, yeah, we should go get drunk. We should. It's like it's the same. It's the same fucking thing. Okay, so her. Because it's like why for what get high for who, like for why, like for what, like literally, like you know, I'm just saying like it's just hilarious because I'm not like I wasn't the most innocent person, but back then I genuinely was not thinking about that her or it wasn't a question in my mind, but I always wondered like why is she pushing smoking so much? Yeah, girl, we should, you know. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we could, but it's just not. I hate that I didn't notice it back then. But I think something was trying to tell me, but I just never thought anything of it, is all I'm saying. I never thought anything of it back then. I never thought anything of it, yo. Um, I remember this girl would do the same thing to me. I had this Spanish class in college, and it was so funny because her name was also Jasmine. Now, I'm not sure if she was gay. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be surprised because once again, hoes be gay or they'll be bi. But yeah, she would do the same thing. Like, hey, yeah, Jazz, we gotta smoke. We gotta smoke. Now, once again, it makes sense to attract stoners because back then I was also a stoner. But I never took her up on that offer either because I just didn't. I get shy around people. I get shy when people try to like initiate hangouts with me. Like like more now. Like I'm not as like shy, but like I always get like a little nervous because I'm like, damn, like I gotta get like I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, why do I don't feel like being in your face and like having like a this I don't know you like that. So it's not as normal as people try to make it seem like when you first hang out with people. I don't know, but that's why you build rapport in the environment that y'all meet. That way, when y'all hang out, it's like it's not as awkward. But I still like the thought of it just kind of makes me nervous. So yeah, a lot of times with these chicks, like I never took them up on their offer because um I don't know, like girls make me nervous, and also I don't know, like it just didn't make sense back then. But all I'm saying is I'm not saying that these girls are gonna do something like crazy or weird to me, but it's just the fact that they wanted to be under the influence with me was not for no reason. It was not for no reason, okay? Um and sure that might have been like their way of, having something to do while they get to know me and like be in my presence and we're in each other's presence, but like no, there's no like you they were gay. They were gay. They were gay. Um I had another friend who I actually ended up hanging out with and I actually took her up on her offer. Um she was slightly older than me and she was real cool. She was cool people. She was cool as fuck. But I actually did smoke with her. I actually did end up kind of um being around her more. This was like the only like real girlfriend that I was like girlfriend as in like homegirl. But I what's so funny is like I knew that she was attracted to me, but I didn't care because I wasn't attracted to her. So I would just always kind of like friend zone her. Plus, the time that she met me, she was engaged and she had children. So in my mind, I'm like, bitch, you not even about to be able to what? But I don't know. I guess she was trying to keep me around for whatever reason. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't care. Like, she's cool. I like her. I like having conversations with her. Plus she's in a relationship, so I don't really see anything weird or predatory completely. But I do know that she's attracted to me based off of how she interacts with me, and her um the pursuit of her trying to be my friend or whatever. The way in which she's trying to pursue me to be a friend. Like, yeah, you should come over, you should hang out, whatever, whatever. And it's kind of scary though, because I was younger than her. So there were some things that I just really didn't see, like kind of had blind spots, but there were other things that I knew. There were other times where I'm like, yeah, like this is never gonna happen or whatever. Um Smoking was a norm for us. But one time she did give me some other shit. And I feel like she gave me this shit. Mind you, I wanted it. Like I was like, I trusted her enough to take this drug. I trusted her enough for it because I fucked with her. I trusted her. But I really do feel like, not even I feel like, I know that she gave me that because she thought that it was gonna make me weaker and like sort of more open to come on to her in a way. She never really like came on to me. Like we spent a lot of time together alone, but it was never her trying to like be as aggressive as like a man. Like women are not like that, that are, they're just usually waiting for you to like make the first move or whatever. So I feel like she thought that maybe that was going to happen, and it never happened. It never happened. She was trying, but I know you're probably like, well, wasn't she engaged in all this extra shit? But yeah, by the time that drug thing happened, she didn't drug me, but I'm just calling it a drug thing because she gave me like this drug that I never tried. Um, she was already they were broken up. They were broken up. She was no longer with her baby daddy and shit like that. So she was kind of, I think she was also coping with the breakup by, doing more things, promiscuous things, shit like that. But yeah, I could totally see how she was like, damn, I'm vulnerable. I want some affection too, or I want some validation too. And right now this is the one friend that's really fucking with me and hanging around me. So, I want something out of her too, So it never got to that point. And you're probably like, well, why did you hang out with her if you knew that she was still like a predator in a way, or a potential whatever predator and stuff? And it's like, well, because I actually did feel like she was cool. I liked her, and I don't know, I just liked her. I liked her, but not like in a gay way. I wasn't attracted to her. I was just like, I like you. Some people are just down to earth, And she was just one of those down to earth people that I felt like was cool enough for me to hang out with. And there was not this thing to where it was, we're just only alone. Like her kids would be, I'll just come over, the kids would be around, I'll be talking to the kids. It was just real cool. Her sister, her mom was there. They was just cool people. So I just, and every now and then we went out and did stuff. So I liked her. And sometimes with women, it's just kind of it's just the you have the ability to do both. You have the ability to not want to always sexualize the person. You're just, you can enjoy her. So I think that she also enjoyed me too, despite also being attracted to me or whatever. And sometimes you really just need a friend. And I think she was going through that breakup and stuff. So yeah, it was one of those situations. However, getting back to the point, um, substances, weed, drugs, all this, people's offerings to you to make you in a more vulnerable, to get you in a more vulnerable state. Yeah, so people just want you to be a little bit more um vulnerable so that they can have you under their influence. If you're just not into that type of like you're not into that person, then you probably wouldn't even find yourself sharing weed with someone or sharing a blunt with someone, right? Like obviously you should only smoke with people that you fucking like or would see yourself being cool with or whatever. But anyway, moving on. People might always want to be high or drunk with you because they may only be able to like you or enjoy you when they are in that state versus when they're sober. They might not even like you. They might think that you're boring or something. Like I'm pretty sure people probably thought that I was boring or might still think I'm boring. But like back then they might have thought that like we're not as compatible. But when we're high together, we're, I don't care. I'm just glad that you're here and I can be myself and all this extra shit. Like people might not even fuck with you like that if they were sober. So they want you to be high around them. They want you to be high with them. They want you to be drunk with them. just a side thought, but I always feel like it's so funny how um the culture of going out and going to the bar. Occasionally I did go out and to a lounge or to a bar with a friend, but I'm not really a bar person. And if it is a bar, it got to be a bar that I like a a bar that's actually not the typical one. Like I like the ones that play live music and have a really nice setting and quality drinks and quality food and quality people and just a range of different shit, Anyway, you really think about it like, hey, can I buy you a drink? It's like what's really being communicated is like, hey, can I buy you some poison? That is not a fucking compliment. Somebody being able to buy me a drink is not a fucking compliment. I'm sorry, that shit is not like. I mean, I know I'm being lame for this, but it's just when you really think about it, like buying me a drink is not impressive. It's not impressive at all. It's kind of offensive. It's like, how dare you insult me? How dare you want to buy me some poison? Yes. I'm just being funny, but it's just not impressive. It's not as impressive as like, hey, can I just, you know, I'll pick up your tab or um can I buy you some food? Can I give you some gas money so you can get home? I don't know, like you want to get some food? Cuz honestly, like after we drink, aren't we always hungry? I feel like that would be more impressive. Like what's open right now? Waffle House. Like, I feel like that's more impressive to me. But I know I'm at the bar, so obviously that's gonna happen. I'm just anyway. Getting back to the main point. People who always want you under the influence. Um Being under the influence often it leads to procrastination. It leads to laziness. And it's a prohibitive way to not use your own energy and time towards something that is productive to you within your life. There's a recovery mode for excessive smoking and drinking to get back to a normal state. Okay, so if you're excessively drinking and smoking, you gotta literally, I'm talking about people that are doing it every weekend, doing it often, like often, getting high often, smoking, drinking high, whatever. Personally, for me, I just know like it's taking me at least 48 to 72 hours, maybe not 72 hours, but that's still like anything anywhere in between 24 to 48 hours. That's a long time to the point where, okay, finally, I'm I feel back to my normal state. I have the mental and physical agility and spontaneity and enthusiasm and elevation to like actually work on the stuff that I said I was going to do or the commitments that I made for myself. You're not like because you drank, because you got high, whatever, you had to wait till that processed out of your body just for you to even like go and do the things that you actually wanted to do. So the recovery mode is literally setting you back because you set yourself back when you chose to get high um and drink with your friends or the people who wanted you under the influence. I'm just saying. It may not be the same for everybody, but I'm just saying this is for people who do it often, who do it way too much, people who abuse it. Um, if you don't abuse substances, then you needing to recover from them often would not be a thing, and your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions, they won't be neglected, because instead of being in recovery mode, which is a slump state, like you're in a slump state, you don't have the ability to think about things and do things and be creative and work on the stuff that you want to work on because you're in your slump state. And you can just if you're not in that recovery mode, then you can just get up and work on your projects, and you can do the things that you need to do for yourself that are supporting your goals and your priorities. So don't expect people who always want you under the influence to give a fuck or care about your ambitions and your goals and your priorities, because they don't give a fuck about their own goals and they don't have any ambitions or aspirations or whatever. So why the fuck would they care that you got some shit to do in the morning or the next day, or that you got to go to work, or that you're working on some art, and that you like, it's not going to make sense to them because they don't do that for themselves. And they it's normal for them to be in the slump recovery state because they're so used to it. It's a normal thing. They're not looking forward to doing something the next day, or this project that they have created for themselves, or whatever that they want to work on, and pour themselves into this thing that is very important to them, that they also might end up sharing with society or the public in the future. So it's keeping you in a procrastinating loop and keeping you lazy. And honestly, in honor of this video, like for real, because come on now. Where is it? No, shut up. Where is this? Where is it? Y'all know what I'm about to play right now.
Many college students have gone to college and gotten hooked on drugs, marijuana, and alcohol. Listen, stop trying to be somebody else. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself and know that that's good enough. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be like someone else. Don't try to act like someone else. Be yourself. Be secure with yourself. Rely and trust upon your own decisions, on your own beliefs. You understand the things that I've taught you. Not to drink alcohol, not to use drugs. Don't use that cocaine or marijuana, because that stuff is highly addictive. When people become weed heads, they become sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned. Sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned. That's all marijuana does to you. Okay? This is Mom. Unless you're taking it under doctor's control, then it's regulated. Do not smoke marijuana. Do not consume alcohol. Do not get in the car with someone who is inebriated. This is Mom. Call me. Bye. Hand me a towel.
Okay. Come on now. So back to the points. It's a like, come on, like, you can sit up here and be like, well, that never happens to me, it makes me productive, because I've literally had people be like, it makes me more productive, it makes me okay. Good for you. Good for you. This is not, I'm not about to get into no semantics. Yeah, to each his own, whatever, but you just, as long as you're being honest with yourself, that's all that matters. um Anywho, they do not care about you. They don't care about you. People who want you under the influence all the time do not care about you. They don't care about you. Okay? My cat is looking at me like, girl. He's literally just trying to sleep, okay? These people are not always intentionally trying to keep you like this, okay? Constantly being under the influence is just how they are coping with their life slash humanity, and they prefer to bond with you in that way. So regardless, no one that cares about you or cares about themselves is perpetually abusing drugs and substances. So by default, they don't care about you. So it's not that they like literally are just going out of their way to like for you to not be important, because I'm sure like maybe somewhere in them they're like, I love you, I like you, you make me feel great, and if something happened to you I would cry and feel bad. I'm not saying that they're incapable of like having emotions for you and like wanting good things to happen to you, but honestly, yo, like by default, if they're abusing and they're constantly under the influence, and they also want you there with them under the influence and maybe even also abusing, then the the force that works within them does not care about you because they're being controlled by they're a slave to that. They're not really, you know, in their right mind. So how could they care about you too? Why would they care about you and your potential and like the greatness that you have to integrate within you? Why would they care? Or the greatness that you already have? And they are living in hell and they also want you there. So these are the people that are not as like unaware. These are the people that are more aware of who they are and what they're dealing with. People that are more aware of the impact from constantly using these substances, they also want you under the influence because it is a way that they can sabotage your potential, and keep you from achieving um, your fullest potential and staying strong. So by keeping you under the influence, they are keeping you weak since you're more at will to your lower urges and stuff like that. They're keeping you weak. Damn, I feel like this video was gonna be super long, but it ended up being like shorter than what I thought. But um, I don't know. I guess without this notepad, I'm just go off the dome here because yeah. So like just ask yourself: Is this it? You know, is this person actually doing me any good by always, hey man, you want to get high? Hey man, let's go get drunk. Today I was going to the store and I was looking for a parking spot and some dude had on this shirt and it said do MILFs, don't do drugs. Or something like that. It was like instead of doing he was like do MILFs, don't do drugs. You know? Sometimes you might have to find another alternative, but this isn't just about doing drugs. This is about being honest with yourself um when it comes to the people that are in your life and questioning their motives, because a lot of times people are just showing up and they're doing all the right things. They may be saying all the right things and they extend that like invitation, and this invitation is just always a fucking invitation of something that's going to keep me in this altered state. And ask yourself, by you being in this altered state, are you becoming stronger or are you becoming weaker? And whatever that answer is to that question should let you know if maybe if this person is actually doing you like more harm than good, or more good than harm. And at the end of the day, people are just really, people get bored here. People get bored living here. People are bored with themselves. Shit, I was bored just the other day. I was like, fuck, I haven't been this bored since 2000. I don't know. You know, like sometimes you really just get bored and you're just like, shit, like I want to do something. And I feel like that's valid. Um it's okay to like indulge every now and then, and have a reason for it. But people who are literally coping off of this stuff, and they also want you to um they also always want you under that influence as well whenever you're around them in general. You just be careful and just think about, like, you know does this person really care about me? And if I care about myself, should I be around them? um People are coping. People don't want to feel their pain, and alcohol slash marijuana and whatever other drugs are just, they're helping people a lot. They're helping people cope a lot, but it's very temporary. And I guarantee you, in the long run, you'll be more happy that you were able to face whatever it is that you're running away from or just don't want to experience or feel. You'll be happy that you actually let yourself feel it, because you're gonna grow from being able to feel your own pain, and like, instead of running from it and running to face the blunt and to drink your life away because you just don't want to feel your trauma or your thoughts and shit like that. And don't get me wrong, like every now and then, hell, I don't want to hear my thoughts either. But this is for people that are abusing it. Oops. This is for people that are abusing it, and not for just the very moderate smoker. So um I hope that I made sense here. Not even that I hope. I know that it made sense, but I guess I hope that it was effective enough. Um, yeah. So thanks if you stayed watching this. I appreciate you. Um, I only ever want to make more videos and talk about more things and find ways to express them, maybe even without the video. Maybe express things and revelations and all the other shit in multiple mediums rather than just face to face camera. So I feel like I had more to say. It's just, I'm like, damn, it's already that's it. Oh my god. Like, is there any other examples that I have? Is there any other examples? I don't know, man. Also, I just want to say that, like I said, this was relative to um the older version of me that I realized. Um yeah, I think it was, and it made me weaker at the time. I think I covered the main points. So when I watch this back, I it's gonna be funny. But yeah, guys. Peace.